listening to the IronAngel Podcast. Tune in weekly as your hosts Durand and Micayla share life stories, gaming updates, and insight behind life as a YouTuber and gaming entertainer. Without further ado, here are your hosts, IronAngel and IronWifey. What's up, Angel Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the IronAngel Podcast.
What's going on?
What's up? What's up? Now, this week we are talking about, and it's funny because we actually had this conversation last night. So I thought it was funny that you brought it to me.
We did?
We sure did.
Yeah, I don't know what subject. She's in charge of the podcast, so she comes up with the subject and I just go along.
Yeah, he has no idea. But literally, I've been thinking about this topic and he just happened to bring it up in conversation last night.
What did we talk? We talked about a lot last night.
What are you thinking?
I don't know. I give up. What is it?
You didn't even try.
I did. I thought, but I give up.
Well, the topic of conversation this week is don't choke.
Oh.
How to make sure
Oh,
that
man.
you come in first when it comes down to the wire. And I
Oh,
want
man.
to talk about not choking just in a video game, but not choking in life. Like, how is it
Oh, I thought you were
that
going to ask about video game moments. I
Oh
got a
no,
lot of stories of
this is
those.
both. This is
Oh, I
definitely
was about to say, I
both.
got a lot of funny
This is
those.
definitely both. But first off, I want to start with video games. I have been telling you this for years, and you just happened to notice it last night, which was so funny because I was like, how did he know that that was a topic
I
of the
had some great
conversation?
games last night. Y'all playing 2K. I had to go
Yes.
down to the wire.
But I have also, it's not just last night. I have been talking to you about this for years, and I have been telling you for some reason, when it comes down to the wire, you never choke. Like you're one of those teammates and even just a partner in life who you need for those last moments. Like when it comes down to those last 3 seconds of a game or 3 seconds of a decision, you don't choke.
Oh yeah, that's something I've always. When I used to play basketball, I used to always tell the opponent because my trash talk's different. I trash talk your strategy. So I used to always there'll be moments like that
Mm-hmm.
where down. I'll whisper to the best player. I'm like, "Don't mess up this. You mess this game up, I'm scoring." He was like, "It's 3 seconds on the clock." I said, "That's 30 seconds for me. You mess this up, I win." And I'll just whisper that and walk
So
right
you get
by
into
him.
their head.
Yeah, because I'm like, not everybody's. There's a lot of people with skill who can shoot the ball, but not everybody has the mentality of the game is close. I mean, you see that in sports and TV, you see it in video
Mm-hmm.
games. You could tell the difference. Yeah, you might score 30 points, but if the game's on the line, can you keep your nerves intact? Me, I can. It's something that I've always had. I don't really have a good explanation where it came from. I would say it came from God, but I just in my mind, I'm like, there's always something that can happen. You can choke, you can do this, you can miss the shot. You know, I always say, and I say this when I watch real sports, you can score all the points in the world, but when the game's on the line, the way to show if you're a superstar or not depends on those last few seconds.
Mm.
Because I always guarantee you're not going to see me panic.
And you don't. You
No,
don't
not at the
panic
last
in
second. I might
anything.
have moments where in the middle of the game I mess up or something, and when I say panic, y'all, I'm not saying like I don't make mistakes. We all make mistakes. I ain't no perfect player, but you're not going to beat me through emotion. That's how I always say. And so in video games and sports, so literally how I act in video games is something I've always had on real sports.
Mm.
So that's why, and it doesn't bother me. I'm like, okay, well, if you beat me, congratulations. But just so you know, as long as the seconds on that clock, there's always a chance for me. And it makes people think it's like, I'm up by 10. Maybe there is a way he can come back. And that's all I need is for you to think too much.
Yeah.
I don't think too much. I'm like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna flow with it. Hey, you're gonna this is gonna happen to you. I'm not even thinking about what that person's saying. Hey, guess what? Hey, guess what? I ain't even listening to him.
That kind of makes me think about, when we were watching The Last Dance and Jordan. Jordan
Yeah.
kind of has that mentality and how he would literally, what was that? He was smoking cigars outside of the bus when the other
Yeah.
team pulled up. And he's just sitting there smoking, like, oh,
No
who's guarding me
nerves. Yeah,
tonight?
no nerves at all.
Like he gets inside their head.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like, what's your strategy? Like when you approach different games,
Mm-hmm.
when you approach different situations, what is your strategy? Break down your strategy on how you can literally be down an entire game and in the last 15 seconds be that, I mean, I guess that superstar
That
that you
difference
talk
maker.
about.
Um, I play the mental game. I
Okay.
love playing the mental game. If I can get you one moment, that's why, like, for those who watch my gaming videos, if you see me get crazy steal from the biggest player. Like I'll tell my teammates, let me guard the best player. If I can stop him one time, it could scare him and the rest of his team.
Okay.
And 80% of the time it works. The other 20% are real ballers. They're like, okay, let's just snap out of it. You know, they act the way I would too. I'm like, okay, I made a mistake. Let's get back into it. 80% of them don't.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I watch and I see who's the best player. I said, okay, let me stop him for one time at his best. I always wait for them when at their best.
How do you know when they're at their best?
There's this thing on 2K called a takeover, and that means your character's on fire.
Okay. Now,
When
what
you are,
about in the real game?
oh, like in real life, I
Mm-hmm.
played a mental game too. You know,
But how do you know someone's at their best?
oh, you have to just watch as the game goes. Sometimes you have to give up points to watch. You
Okay.
play your game and you just watch, and that's the thing. That's what I always say. The first two quarters don't mean nothing
Mm-hmm.
because you're learning how the team plays. Unless you know who the team is already, then you already know. But when I'm playing just pick up ball, I don't, or pick up a 4-quarter ball or whatever at a church, you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to examine as the play goes on. And it's a thing called, let them shoot, let them do this. Let's just see how they act in this moment. You know, anybody can do anything cool in the first 2 quarters. Now that we have a tie game in the fourth quarter, let me see what you're really about. I'm gonna stop all that you just did in the first, second quarter, and the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if you have a different game plan. 80% of them don't. That's why I say I'm not when I play basketball or any kind of, or when I play basketball or any kind of sport, video game or real life, I rather play the mind game defensive player
Okay.
because almost anybody can shoot the ball. I can give it to somebody who'll shoot the ball. But if I can orchestrate the offense and play mind games on you on defense, I'm more effective that way. And I've proven that. I've
Okay.
shown people that I can win games without scoring. You know,
And
like
how do you do that? You said orchestrating the offense.
I
How does that work?
that's why I give credit to LeBron or Chris Paul and them. They direct where their team is going.
Mm-hmm.
So like for example, I'll play with ECG or G Phil or something, and I'm like, hey, look, this guy's gonna do this every time. All you gotta do is go left and skirt to the right, and he's gonna just keep going left and keep doing that. And then if he does this, go over here, and if he does this, he's always going to jump. So just wait and then pump fake and go up, like stuff that's orchestrating, just getting offense together. So I love doing that way more than scoring. And that I always say that's the more dangerous person because he's studying you
Mm-hmm.
and he knows how his offense is. That's why
Okay.
when some people ask me, like when I play 2K, how do I do so well with randoms? It's frustrating sometimes because I get surprised of how many people don't know simple basketball. Like when you play with random, it's like, dude, what are you doing? But it's all right. You have to watch. He's like, okay, this is how my team plays. This is what happened last night. This is why my wife is talking about it. And I learned how they play. I said, okay, I'm gonna work around that. That's you orchestrate. He said, okay, so these randoms like to shoot the ball. They like to do this. Okay, well, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna move around here and make a double team.
Okay.
And it's all about planning. I love planning and I love defending you. And I love defending the best player. And sometimes I get crossed over, but my famous line is, can you do that twice?
Mm.
Because I learn. I'm like, okay, you did that once. Can you do it again?
That's that Goku mentality.
Yeah. It's just like I'll challenge the best player every time.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what it is. And for those who want to cheese their way, those don't work either. I always say you
Mm-hmm.
better come for real. Don't come being cheesy and stuff because that's gonna make you even more embarrassed. That triggers me in a good way. Where it's like
Okay.
now I'm being the way I just said, and I'm gonna be in savage mode.
Oh, so you're like,
So
oh,
I'm gonna be in
oh,
your
you want to
face,
play those games?
yes, and I'm gonna be in
Okay.
your face. And I do that in real basketball too. Like there were these guys who always they would sneak hits,
Mm-hmm.
and where the ref won't see it. And I saw him do it to my teammate. And I'm letting the ref know. The ref was like, I don't see it. And excuse me, they did it to me one time and that hurt. It hit me on my side. I said, oh, okay. And so as soon as they took the ball in, I was right behind the guy. And I said, now let me see you get to half court. And again, mind games.
Mm-hmm.
Because he thinks he's really good at, crossing you over. So now that I'm saying it to him, like, let me see you get to the half court line. You're not going to make it there. He's playing with his mind. Because
Mm-hmm.
this guy's too full of himself. So I'm like, he's not focused on the game. He's so focused on himself. He's talking all this. I'm this, I'm that. I said, okay, All I got to do is stop him one time, and he's going to choke the rest of the game. And I was just bumping him, almost made him pick up his dribble. And because he's so cocky, he's like, I ain't passing. I'm just trying to cross him up. He
Mm-hmm.
couldn't even get halfway to the half court line. I took the ball and I laid it up, and I looked right at him as I did it. I said, "You want to try again?" And his coach had to say, "Pass the ball." I said, "Dang, your coach is scared for you. He told you to give up the ball because you don't know how to control it." And it messed with him the whole game, and we won.
So it's
He was the
mind
star player.
games.
So yeah. Now, granted, not everybody can get there. Not everybody's like that.
Okay.
There are some players who are like me and some other people who, no matter what you say, it doesn't affect them. Like me personally, you talk trash to me, it makes me play better. But everybody's not like that. We live in a generation where a lot of you know, soft heart, soft ears people, where you say
Mm-hmm.
one insulting thing, is like, oh my gosh. I tell those people, you shouldn't be playing sports. Get your life together. Sports is about trash talk. I ain't saying go personal. I would never. I have never done that in my life. But I'm gonna go at your game because it's speaking of Last Dance, you said it. It's, Jordan was talking about it. He says it's about your mental too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's about the mental game. If I can get you there, I can get you the rest of the game.
Now I'm curious, how much of a game is mental and how much is actually physical?
Mental is a big. This is just throwing a number out there. I would say mental is 70% of the game. 40% is a physical.
30.
I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. 30. I would say that because you see a lot of players now in the NBA. They can score 40, 50 points,
Mm-hmm.
but when it's time to show up at the end of the game, they choke. And it's
Yeah.
like, every time. And it's like, okay. And I ain't saying choke like they missed the last shot. You're not going to make the last shot every time. Jordan didn't. Not nobody did perfectly. I'm talking about they had the heart where, like for example, rest in peace to Kobe. He wanted the ball, and it never affected him. Whatever happened,
Mm-hmm.
people was scared that he had the ball. He played a mental game on offense. People are literally scared he has the ball because they know he wasn't phased by anything.
Yeah.
There are players like that. I consider myself that kind of player too. Like even when I play like games, you be like people see on my videos, we're down 14 or 13 one time, and I told it was me and ECG, and I'm like, all we need is one stop on these guys, and we'll win the rest of the game. And he believed it. It was like, okay. And what did we do? We played defense, and we went and won that game. We was down 0-13. All the opposite team need was 7 more points to win,
Mm.
8, and we scored 21 points. And I'm talking. And because these guys are like 99 overalls, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
90. I'm like, what are y'all doing? I was like, look, y'all are on the spot right now. If you give up this game, that's gonna be the most embarrassment. You ain't gonna want to play 2K no more after that. That
Yeah.
messes with you.
It does.
Cause it's like it's an insult. They feel insulted. Like, what you say? And now I got them focused on something else besides the game. And
Mm-hmm.
as I'm talking, I'm scoring. So that makes it worse because people talk and they don't do anything.
Yeah.
Those are people you don't listen to. I always say Patrick Beverly in the NBA is like that. He talks but doesn't. He gets fouled out with 2 points. It's not, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like no, but I'm talking and scoring. I'm talking and ECG is scoring. I'm talking and stealing the ball. I'm talking and orchestrating the offense. That messes with you because it's like I'm talking, you can't stop me from doing it.
So you have to have action behind
Yeah, oh
your
yeah, you
talk.
have to because there's a lot of people. I mean, you go to the street and play some street ball. There's always that one just running his mouth. Heck, I mean, there's no diss, but you see how Flight does. He talks so much about himself, but lose all these games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's like a
Yeah.
lot of people talk. It doesn't mean they walk it. And people who talk on the wall, nobody thinking about that. They're like, oh, he's just running his mouth. But the ones who talk, and sometimes I don't talk. I talk by just acting. Like there was sometimes I used to play a game. I'll just look at a guy and not say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Then I will guard him and look him right in the eye because I do all these crossovers. And I always say this, and at least for those who play basketball in real life, the best way to defend is to guard the waist. No matter how many times of a crossover these people do, they can't move without that waist.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just stand there as this person doing and again, I won't say nothing. But the fact I'm so still on him and ain't moving, ain't budging, just letting him do all these weird crossovers, then I steal the ball and I just look at him, it messes with you.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it messes with you
It's a
where,
silent killer.
yeah. And sometimes it messes with you where you act out of your character, meaning you're like, oh no, I gotta get him back, I gotta get him back. And they're so focused on that instead of winning the game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, see, gotcha. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, try me again. And then I love it because I even posted on Instagram recently, um, where I robbed the guy twice because I stole it, made him salty. He wanted to come back at me again. And
Mm-hmm.
what did I do? I stole the ball again and I dunked it again. And then I said, "You want to try that third time?" He learned. He passed it. I said, "There you go." Now he's out of the game. I'm not even thinking about him. Now it's the other two. That's how you do it.
One player at a
One
time,
player at a time.
one
And
bind at a time.
yeah, and the thing is, yes, he's playing, but every time he touches the ball, he's going to be nervous because I'm looking right at him. I'm like, "You going to try it again?"
Mm.
You just embarrassed yourself and lost the ball back to back.
So I've
So it
noticed
makes
that,
them nervous and think like, should I shoot the ball?
yeah,
Or should I shoot it? And by that time, time is up. You know,
yeah.
you just waste all that time thinking. Stop thinking too much. I don't think too much.
I've noticed that you use this strategy not just in 2K or in basketball, but you use the strategy in every game you play. Like I've seen
FIFA.
you, I was like, when you first started FIFA, you had no idea what you were
I
doing.
remember that. Yeah.
No idea at all. But now I see like the same strategies used in FIFA. When you played MLB, it was like a really short
Yeah.
period.
When I had a PlayStation.
Yeah, like even that is like, you it's the same strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And even with like third person shooters, like I remember listening to you and the guys play, and you would literally be like, all right, somebody needs to get here. Okay, strategy, strategy. Like it's all about the
Yeah.
strategy.
Yeah. You
And
just
so,
learn. Some people make the same mistakes because they don't pay attention.
yeah.
It's just paying attention. That's all. It's nothing like people want the big formula. There's no big formula to it. You got to pay attention and adjust.
Do you believe you have a type of playing style where someone would be able to pick up your strategy, or is it something that you switch up every game?
They couldn't. They couldn't. In my own experiences and stuff, they couldn't pick up how I do things
Why?
because I change it. If I
Okay.
see you get it the first time, like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna do it this way. And if you able to stop all three or four, then you really good.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, then I'll mix it up instead of doing one, two, three, and four different play styles, might do one, then four, then two. And like I said, basketball and sports is quick. You got to be quick with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to be quick. Like there's a video I'm posting later today, and it showed how you know it was a rec video. I called the title of the video in case people were curious what it is. It's called the funniest, craziest game I've ever played on 2K. But the first when I realized how a guy played on the opposite team.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, next time he gets the ball, I'm gonna do it this way. So what I did was I changed it up. But like I said, you gotta do it quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think too long, they already make so immediately, and you saw how he jukes, like he was nervous of what I did. But then as soon as I left my guy to stop him, I knew he was gonna throw it at the guy left. So I made him think I was gonna guard him. So I ran close to him, but not fully to him, and then ran fully back because I knew he was gonna panic and pass it back. I stole the ball. Now his
Okay.
mind, he's like, how the heck? What the heck did he just do? You just gotta adjust and you gotta strategize. You gotta learn your opponent's strategy. And I ain't gonna front, I haven't played a guy or gal in a long time that's beat me straight off of strategy. Like I said, there's 20% in the world of people who can do that.
Mm.
The other 80 are looking for, exploits, cheesy maneuvers, and all this other stuff. Hope in the game. That's why I used to realize that people always wonder why a lot of people race quit off of video games
Yeah.
because they don't have that mindset. They don't have that mindset. Like when I play with ECG, he has that mindset. When I play with GFA, he has that mindset. He said, okay, we gotta do it this way. Or else the other people, we gotta do it this way. We can't do it this way. It worked this other team, it won't work with this one. But a lot of people ain't willing to do that. So they're just willing to get the easy way out, or they'll just race quit. And it makes me laugh. I'm like, you race quit instead of just adjusting? It's like the guy shut down in the beginning of the game. Once he realized the game will stop cheating for him, he just
Mm-hmm.
quit. And that's what
But
I
that
mean.
happens a lot.
Yeah, and that just shows that their heart is not. That's why I said 80 and 20. So those who are listening, I'm not pumping myself up when I say, oh, I haven't lost to a lot of people through strategy. It's just the truth. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm the best, because no, I'm not the best. There's always somebody better than you. There's always, no matter what you play, there's always somebody better than you. You just haven't met them yet. You know, but yeah, and and people know that I give them their credit. If you outsmarted me,
Mm-hmm.
I give you a lot of credit because I really take my defense and playmaking seriously.
Okay.
Like I tell people all the time, I would rather do that than shoot the ball. So if you're willing to outsmart somebody like that who defensively and playmaking, you're really good.
Okay.
I was like, okay. And honestly, there's only a few people you see like that I've met, you know. Now, in real basketball, I've met a lot of those, half and half, but when I play 2K, it's just like, wow, a lot of people don't know what they're doing. It's like, goodness gracious. Like, I literally just played a game in the rec where I beat a team full of real players with CPU teammates on my team. How in the world, and these guys are like, I love all this stuff. How in the world you let me beat you with CPU players?
It's a mind game.
It's a mind game. I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And you could tell they was frustrated. And for
Yeah.
those who are wondering, that's the rec game I'm talking about with the craziest, funniest win. Just watch it. You'll see. I was mind gaming these people. I was playing rec. Three people left the game. It was three CPU players and me and another guy who actually stayed. But the other guy was a big man who couldn't shoot or do nothing. He was really slow, so he was making sure he stayed in the paint. So basically, both of us couldn't shoot. So that's definitely a sign that's an easy loss for us.
Yeah.
If you're on the opposite team, and a lot of people here that know what I'm talking about, you see a team like that, you should get an easy win.
Hmm.
You should have. But I'm like, yeah, they should. But let me just see. Let me see something. It takes a lot of work. Now, let me get that straight too. To do the stuff like I'm saying, it takes a lot of work and a lot of focus. And you got to throw your frustrations out the door.
Okay.
You can't. If you get frustrated, that's a way to lose focus too. You know, yeah, and we outsmarted and won the game.
That's a
That's
shame.
embarrassing.
That's a shame.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. But again, it goes back to when you strategize,
Hmm.
you could be almost anybody. I don't care. Because I get a lot of people like, oh, the characters I'm making 2K are not that good. Then why am I winning? It's like, then why am I winning?
I've noticed that throughout your entire 2K journey, you've always done things differently, not only in strategy, but
Yeah,
also in like
play
actually
style.
gameplay,
Yeah,
like in actually building your players. Like
yeah. And
you've
it's
done a
no
budget player, you've done
different
a
kind of
different
builds that are
kind of
not
team.
famous.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I
you've
mean,
done like what is that? You did an 80 overall team and building up that team.
oh, and when I did Ultimate Team back in
Yeah,
the day.
like it's like I've seen you do all these different.
Yeah, I mean, and it's good that you brought that up because some people are curious. And it's no knock to any other YouTuber, but I hate following what they want me to do.
What do
Like,
you mean?
like all these YouTubers have the best build kind of videos.
Okay.
One, it's not true. It's the best build to them. They're
Yeah.
doing that for clickbait. Now, like I said, there's no hate towards them, but just because they say it's the best, I don't care if it's Joe Knows, Chris Smooth, Cash. Now, I don't care who it is. It's not the best build. It is to them.
Mhm.
The best build is whatever you work with. Like I look at how I like to play,
Mhm.
and I make my build from that. And that is the best. That's why you never see none of my videos say the best build for you. I say the best build for me. It's for me. That's why when people are like, what's the best build to do? For me is this. And
Okay.
that's a humbleness. You gotta know, like, okay, what works for me might not work for you. The same way for you. What works for you might not work for me. So I always build on what my style is.
Okay.
Regardless of what somebody else say, I'm winning games. How can you tell I'm having the worst build winning games? It's not me being carried. It's me orchestrating. 80%, not 85% of my games is me orchestrating, carrying, and all this other stuff.
Mhm.
And I'm not talking about with ECG. I'm talking about when I'm playing in GFL. I'm talking about when I'm playing with randoms. I'm
Mhm.
playing with randoms and winning 90% of my games, in which everybody said, one, I have the worst builds and you can't win with randoms. So when I have those two against me, I'm like, oh, well, what you're saying is false.
Yeah.
Just look at the videos. I'm posting so many, you know.
Yeah.
And I even post, the couple losses I get, I post them to let y'all know, like, hey, I just scored 18 points. I did all this stuff. I did everything I was supposed to do, you know.
Yep.
Because like I said, you ain't gonna win every game, but you make sure you do your thing. And if you didn't do your thing, then make sure next game you step up and handle it. Because we all have off days. But yeah, I love doing the different road. I love doing my road. Everybody has their road. Whatever you're doing, gaming, sports, whatever you're doing out there, do your thing. Stop trying to look at what somebody else says. This is what LeBron did. I don't care what LeBron did. That worked for him. There
Mhm.
will never be another LeBron.
Mhm.
Do your thing. What works for you? Steph Curry can't be LeBron. So what
Yeah.
he did, he shot from half court and doing all these crazy shots. He did his thing and became popular. So that's why no matter how many roll with it or not, I'm gonna do my thing. And my results look very nice. I was like, that's the
Okay.
thing. Cause at the end of the day, your results speak for itself.
Now I'm curious, what's the difference between confidence and cockiness?
Confidence is, it's something like, it's funny you said, because Kobe said this before, rest in peace. He said, people thought I was cocky, but I was confident. I was confident because I was in the gym 4 hours doing the same shot.
Mm,
So I know my practice makes perfect.
confidence is consistency.
Yeah, you know that you practice, that you
Mm-hmm.
put the time into work. That's why I tell people when I play 2K, I'm like, instead of doing these cheesy dribble moves, how about you go and practice it?
Mm-hmm.
Practice how to do a dribble. Like, I'm honest, I don't know how to do the dribbles because I don't practice it. But if you give me a second in the gym,
Mm-hmm.
and I've proven that in the current gen, when I said, because point guard was one of the worst things for me to do because I wasn't a good point guard. So I said, let me try.
Okay.
But I went to the gym and I practiced and this and that. My first debut game, I went crazy, and I proved it. For those who said I couldn't dribble and all, I proved. And the guy, it was one guy who was always on my neck. He even gave me props. He said,
Mm.
"Wow, that was really good." I said, "Yeah, that comes from putting the work in."
Yeah.
That's why I'm confident. When I play, I've been playing defense since I was 8 years old in elementary school playing basketball. That's something
Hmm.
I always loved. I'm like, if I can shut you down, then you know
Yeah.
it's whatever. After that, it makes you frustrated. And if I get you frustrated, it's a mind game. That's why I'm so confident to this day. So yeah, and look at you. She's laughing because we met in elementary school.
I
So when I
remember you
said it,
playing basketball at 8 years old. I remember that.
yeah,
I was a cheerleader at that time.
yeah,
That was fun. Fun times.
it was. But yeah, and that's just what it is. So cockiness is just you're full of yourself. Like
It's
I've never
pride.
say I can win a game on my I don't need nobody. No. I'm always looking at my teammates. Heck, I'm more of a passing player. Like I said, I orchestrate. You can't be
Mm-hmm.
cocky orchestrating the team. You can't be. You have to look at your teammates and believe in them. There was a guy last night who thanked me. I don't even know him, but I was playing with randoms last night.
Mm-hmm.
He thanked me for believing in him because it was a close game, y'all. You'll see the video up whenever I post it. But we was in the tightness of the game. And like I said, you can't panic. You just gotta be calm.
Yeah.
So I strategized. I said, okay, I'm gonna drive to the paint, and I know these opponents are freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
If I drive, they're gonna double, triple team me. Somebody's gonna be open. If not, I'm gonna go up and dunk it. And just because sometimes you have to YOLO and believe in it. So that's just what it is. You gotta take one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the play, and what happened? I got triple team, passed it off to my teammate who was not doing that good that game. And the thing was, I didn't let it frustrate me. I didn't let it get in my head. I still believed in him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, and I passed it off. He shot it and won the game for us.
Mm.
No, you can't be cocky being that way.
Yeah. You would have took that shot
Oh
yourself
yeah, there's a
instead of
lot of
passing it to somebody.
yeah, and there's a lot of I'm gonna be nice with my words. There's a lot of not smart people on 2K who will force shots regardless. Like they are all over the place. When the game's on the line, they just shoot the dumbest shot because they want to be the hero.
Mm.
No, I'd rather be the team winner, confident in my game and confident in my teammates, even if I don't know the teammate. That's why I play, like people ask why I play with randoms, because I want to see, give them their shine. One,
Yeah.
because I don't have many people to play with. Two, I want to see them. And what happened? Right before I ended the night, I was about to go to bed. He sent me a message on his Xbox saying, "Thank you for uh that pass, bro. I know I was messing up and my bad." I said, "No, you're fine. Thanks for the game winner."
Mm-hmm.
Where's the team play? So that's the difference. Cockiness, you're not doing that. Cockiness, you think nobody can beat you. I've never, that's one thing. Somebody said that you think nobody can beat you. I've never said that. Just because I walk on my own 2 feet and are challenging you
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean I'm cocky. I just know that I can stop you. Prove me wrong. And that's the
Mm.
thing. If people prove me wrong and they have gotten it from me, I'll give them their respect. Like, yo, you got me. So that's you can't be cocky saying that.
Yeah.
But until you prove it, I'm gonna lock you down. And that's just the confidence. So yeah, that's the difference. And I look like I'm a sports guy. I'm playing FIFA. I'm playing 2K. Even other games that have nothing to do with sports.
Madden.
I haven't played Madden so long. They
I
need to work
know.
on their stuff. But but other games when I'm playing Mortal Kombat, whatever. I love figuring it out. It's like you're in school.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, this didn't work. If I try it this way, and I will keep trying ways until it clicks. A lot of people won't do that. They'll just rage quit and just give up on the game. How about you sit there and try to figure it out?
Mm.
Figure it out. Because once you figure it out, you'll be almost unstoppable.
Mm.
That's why I encourage people. Once you figure it out, you almost will be unstoppable. Nobody's unstoppable, but you'll almost be unstoppable. Where you're winning 90% of your games. Cause let me let y'all know something. I ain't hiding gameplay on my channel. That's why I post so much.
Yeah.
Wins and losses. That's why I post so much. I ain't hiding nothing. So yeah. And that's why cause yeah, that's why I win a lot of them.
Yeah.
So and then when I'm playing with people like ECG and G Phil who know the game as well, that makes it more dangerous. That's why we can go on a crazy win streak
Yeah.
because all three of us have the same kind of mindset. And when you have three people like that, I'm already winning without them,
Mm-hmm.
with randoms. So when I'm with them,
That's a super team.
yeah, we make mistakes or the game helps them out, which a lot of people look for bailouts. And that's why I say I haven't lost much from people with strategy. That's different.
Mm-hmm.
People have lost against people using cheesy mechanics. There's nothing we can do about that. That's the game having to get fixed.
Okay.
That's why I don't really count those games. Because, when you're getting cheesed, unless 2K stops that or whatever game you're playing stops that, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
I still won't rage quit because there's always that chance I still win, and I still win most of those.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was one game, it was insane. It was so frustrating, but we had to stay focused. Me, ECG, and GFIL was doing with these fade and three cheesers, and people who play 2K know what I'm talking about. And it went down to the wire, but we had to keep going with it, keep adjusting, keep doing it. And sure enough, we won at the last second
Mm.
because it's always that last move. And it's
Mm-hmm.
funny that mechanic, he panicked at the end. It's always that one guy. You make him panic, and he messed up, and we took advantage of it and won.
Now you were telling me a story about your favorite player, TMAC, and I want to
Yes,
say it was TMAC. Was he the one that did the what was it,
13 points in
30
30 seconds.
seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like I guess that's a prime example of really
Mm-hmm.
not choking when it comes down to
And he
being
said
in the
it best.
clutch.
He was like, I didn't think. I just did it. He
Mm-hmm.
said, I know what I'm capable of, and you just got to do it. You don't have time to think. It's 30 seconds. You know, Anybody else that doesn't have that mindset will be like, oh, the game is over.
Mm-hmm.
30 seconds. I mean, I remember, I watched that game, and a lot of people was leaving the stadium because they're like, oh, the game's over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and yeah, T-Mac said, oh, that clock didn't say zero yet. And against a tough San Antonio team, he won that game. Yeah, only certain people are made for that.
Mm.
That's why I can't get mad at other people who are not. You're just not made for it.
Yeah.
They'll go every cheesy mechanic. They'll do this. They'll rage quit. Some people are just not made for that. And not just video games, but any sport or life or whatever. You know, you have to get yourself to that situation. Some naturally have it. Some build themselves up for it. You know,
Okay.
praise God. I've naturally had it, and God just built on that and made it stronger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so my mom used to always say we used to play Monopoly, and she's like, no matter how much you was down or something, you will always believe there's a chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, you would just say, God, there's always a way. God, there's a she said you would quote scripture and all this stuff and believe. She said the funny part is you will win some of those games back. And we'd be like, what in the world? I was like, yeah, there's no panic here. There's always a way. I said the game ain't over yet. I
Mm-hmm.
don't see all my money going yet. Like I play Monopoly. And she would just be like, it's just crazy, baffle your father. Now you was this 10-year-old boy just doing this stuff. We're like, where's this coming from?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, that's just what it is. I use that for life.
I was just about to ask that. How do you take the strategies that you put into the game and apply it to life? Because I know, like, and I'm not going to put all our business out there, but
Yeah.
I know, like, last year, 2020 was a struggle for us. And we reached a situation where we should have panicked, but we didn't. And so, like, I have no issue putting, the fact out there that I lost both my jobs. And when I came home and told you, you would have I guess I was assuming that you would have been like, okay, well, we got to figure out a way. We got to figure out a way to make things happen. And you were just like, okay.
Yep. Let's sit down and let's talk this over. Let's pray about it and see. Because I remember the first thought that hit one of the thoughts that hit my wife's heart was let's just move and live with our family or something.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, no. I said stuff ain't over. I said, God, I believe God's in control, and regardless of what happens in life, you have to believe that, and your actions will show it.
Mhm.
People can say all the time, "Oh, God's in control," and then when a situation happens, they just panic and
Mhm.
they just like, "Oh, nope, never mind, never mind." God's always in control when things go right. That's the funny thing. There's
Yeah.
always in control when things go right, but when things are a test for you,
Mhm.
it's like, "Oh, no, I gotta lean on my own understanding. I gotta do this. I gotta do the quote unquote logical thing," which basically you're saying you're giving up. No,
Mm.
we here in San Diego for a reason, and we're here to grow our territory.
Mhm.
So why are we letting a situation stop us from growing our territory? No, we sit, we pray about it, and we figure it out. It ain't
Mhm.
over. We're not, we ain't at $0 being evicted and all this. We ain't there. Let's take one day at a time. And I always believe that, y'all. Take one day at a time. Don't overthink by going so far ahead in the future. Don't overthink. Take one move at a time. It's worked for me for 30 years. And yeah, there's no panic makes you do dumb things. You move on
Mm.
feelings. And I always encourage, don't when you're in a situation like that where feelings is where you're I'm sorry, where panic is your feelings or fear, don't move on it.
Mm.
Don't move on what some people who live on panic as well tell you what the logical thing is.
Mhm.
No, no, no. If you believe that God has sent you for whatever it is in life that you're going for, then believe in it. Ask God what you need to do and move forward. And if you don't have an answer yet, then just keep riding the wave. As I always say, like I say in the games, it ain't over yet, is it?
Yeah.
Did you lose? Is the clock say zero? Did you get kicked out of your place? Did whatever?
Mhm.
Jobs are a dime a dozen.
Mhm.
That's one thing I always tell you. Jobs are a dime a dozen. We ain't gonna get money this month for rent. Then we're gonna figure something out. And sure enough, we ain't gonna go in detail, but something got figured out
We
next
did
week,
figure something out,
the
yeah.
next week, and it was like, wow. See, if we would have panicked, we never would have got to this blessing.
Mhm.
And then it was one blessing after another and after another. And it kept us afloat until we actually figured out how to get out of the afloat situation.
Mhm.
But it kept us here. And looking now, we're in 2021 and we're still here,
Yeah.
and we're in a way better situation.
And I look at that as a game. Y'all know I'm married to a gamer, and y'all have heard this conversation. And so a lot of the analogies that he kind of speaks on don't just apply to a game, they apply to real life. And so that's why I was really stuck on the strategy of don't choke, because I've seen you
Yeah.
not choke, not just in games, but I've seen you not choke in life.
And it's true what I said about video games in real life too when it comes to 80/20.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people will use fear and move on that. They'll use panic, move on that. They'll use what they think is right and move on that and all this stuff. And instead of having faith and believe that God's gonna get you through it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you believe that you was supposed to be in this spot, then why a situations make you change your mind?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of people will make excuses. Because.
Okay.
Okay, what's that? Did you lose yet?
Mm, that's
You
good.
didn't lose
That's
yet.
a whole word.
Yeah, you didn't lose yet. So I'm like, you didn't lose. And what I mean by that is like, did you get? Are you on? Not about to be? Because some people could get to that situation where you still have a choice, where you're about to be on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you didn't get on the street yet, did you?
Mm.
Because some blessings happen at the nick of time.
Yeah.
Some things that you're looking for, you hear stories all over TV. Out of nowhere, they just got this. Out
Mm-hmm.
of nowhere, this happened. Out of nowhere, this happened. Well, so you can't be that out of nowhere person. I
Mm.
always say that when I play games. I'm like, out of nowhere, something can happen.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, and like I said, a lot of the times it does come through there, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what happened with us. You know, it was a lot of situations. Because if y'all would have known the details of our life last year, you would think that we would go back to our normal lives and
Yeah.
this and that and live a fan whatever. But no, because no, we ain't there.
No.
So we're not there. And if we believe that, God has put us here, that we have a purpose here, and what we're doing, and my YouTube stuff, and what my wife is doing with her magazines, and whatever else she's doing, and we're doing, then let's start acting on it. You
Mm.
can't be believing in it because things are going well. That's too easy. That's
Yeah.
too easy. That's like having a cheat code in a video game. Of course, you're going to win. You have a cheat code on you. But how about when you have nothing going for you? Do you still believe it?
There's no cheat codes to life.
No. So when nothing, it's easy for people to believe it's going to work when stuff is going right.
Yeah.
If I gave you $1 million, you'd be, oh yeah, it's going to work. Well, yeah, no kidding. You got $1 million in your pocket. When
Mm-hmm.
we have $10 or -5, do you still believe
Mm-hmm.
it? That's the test. And a lot of people ain't meant for that. That's why they watch other people on TV live the life that they should be living.
Oh, oh,
Well, it's true.
yeah.
And I refuse to be that person. I don't care
Mm-hmm.
how long it takes. I don't care how long it takes. I'm not going to be sitting back and watching somebody live the life that I believe was meant for me.
Mm. And
You
you
know?
do, you say that all the time. You talk about how you want the blessing that's meant for us. You don't want to watch our kids
Yeah.
be the redemption.
Because I see a lot of parents do that too. Like, oh, it's too late. So I'll live through my kids or encourage my kids to be that way. That's wrong. It's never too late.
Mm-hmm.
It's not too late. You made it too late. Just because you have a kid. I know somebody, a lady who she's a millionaire now, but she built a business she got pregnant right after high school. And she had a decision to
Mm-hmm.
just be at home and raise a kid. She's like, nope, I'm taking this kid with me. She got always in class. She brought
Mm-hmm.
in class and all this stuff. And she said it was tough because I have to raise a kid, but I said I'm going to complete this. And she finished her school, got her business stuff. She built her some kind of makeup brand or hair brand. And yeah, to now the kid's like 10. So it's been
Mm-hmm.
a while, but she's like a millionaire. And it's not even because of million, but she's successful in what she's doing.
Yeah.
And she said, if I would have given up because of a situation, you know, I would have never been here. I would have
Yep.
been the next lady saying, hi, can I take your order?
Mm.
So, and she's like, I didn't want that.
Yeah.
She says, I knew I always wanted my own business and stuff. And I had a little setback, but, you know, just because we have setbacks does not mean we just stop and it's too late. And I
Mm-hmm.
refuse to live off my kids. I refuse. I think that's selfish, one. And two, I want to enjoy the blessing before they're here.
Mm-hmm.
I want to enjoy my blessings. I want my kids to have their blessings, but I'm not saying I don't want to be that person waiting for them. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's sad to see some of these kids in sports, and you just see the family just looking at them like, "Yeah, you're gonna take care of us, right?" That's just. How about you take care of yourself? How
Mm.
about you look out for yourself? I feel bad. It brings pressure on that kid. Let him enjoy his life. Why he has to sit here and feel responsible over your stuff because you gave up?
Mm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I always and I want to say this too. I congratulate the parents that believe in their kids and didn't look for anything.
Yeah.
Those are the superheroes. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I say. I'm not saying that it's wrong to have your kids go for what they no, absolutely not. When I have kids, I want them to go hard on whatever the Lord's put on their heart. But to look at them as a money bag, as all my freedoms here and all that stuff, that's just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's pressure on the kids. I had one lady tell me one time, she said, now I can finally get my dad off my back. And I was like,
Oh.
what you mean? She's like, he's just been waiting for me to buy him his car and do this and get him out of work.
Mm.
Now I can do this. I'm like, how selfish of you, man. Because you didn't believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And they always thought, well, bills. Well, step in line. We all have bills. We all have this. I have bills.
Yeah.
I'm doing this YouTube stuff and not getting making a living yet.
Yeah.
But you have, if I believe that this is what God's giving me, I have to keep going. I don't care how many views go down or this or that, or it doesn't move me the same way in video games. Does it get tiring? Yes. Just like in video games, it gets tiring sometimes to carry a team every time.
Mm-hmm.
Like last night, I was tired,
Yeah.
but I won. You know,
Yeah.
the guy still he's like, wow, thank you for looking at. He didn't have to message me.
Yeah.
And that's how I use it in life. I'm like, you got to show that you believe in yourself, that you believe that, God put you here.
In everything you do.
Yeah. And if you don't believe, and some people don't, believe in God, then that's your decision. But don't let, don't let circumstances stop you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know it's gonna be somebody, oh, I don't believe in God. Okay, well, don't let circumstances stop you.
Yeah.
You know, don't let circumstances stop you. So I speak on the Lord because I'm a Christian, but not everybody is. So I'll say also, don't let circumstances stop you. If you see something, man, I remember driving, this is before I got married. I remember driving to work and believing that 2 cent gas I had in my car was gonna be enough. I ain't had no money. I never forget that. I'll never forget that. But I'm like, you know what? There's no panic because I knew at my job there's a certain time. This is for those who know about direct deposit.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain time. It was on that day direct deposit comes, but it comes at 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I had to get to work at one. I had to get to work at 2.
Mm.
So I remember I was like, okay, I'm gonna drive. It was like a 15-minute drive. So this 2 cents is gonna last. and I'm gonna go let. And I just kept driving, and I'm like, it's all good. It's all good. Circumstances tell you, oh, it's gonna stop in the middle of the road. You're gonna be
Mm-hmm.
stuck. I'm like, no, it's good. It's good. And sure enough, I remember I got to the gas station, and my car stopped. Right at my job. Still didn't have the money in my account, but I was like, it's all good. It's all good. You don't panic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I can walk the rest of the way to work. As soon as I got out the car, and it wasn't at 2, it was like at 150. Money was deposited in my account.
Mm.
So not even at 2, but it's amazing when you believe what stuff can happen. It
When
should
you have
change
faith
the
in your,
cycle
yeah.
because people think, oh, it's supposed to happen this way. No, it's not supposed to happen this way. My money is supposed to come in at 2. It came at 150 just in time,
Mm-hmm.
for me to put gas in my tank.
Mm-hmm.
This was, like I said, a long time ago. But I'm just talking about, don't move in fear.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let your emotions take over your situation. And that's
Wow.
just waiting. I use that for gaming. That's why I get hyper in games and stuff. But, you know, yeah. Has there been moments? Because I know people, has there been moments I've panicked? Yeah. Very, very, very rare. And then I realized because I was tired.
Mm.
I was sleepy or something. It was never because I was so lasered in the game.
Got it.
There's moments where I was sleepy, and some of my wife would tell me, she'll come to her, she knows I'm sleepy and something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not all invested in the game, and so I mess up over an emotional situation. So, but yeah, I haven't lost being lasered in. I never lost focus of a clutch situation. Have I won all of them? No. Like I said, Jordan missed game winners,
Yeah.
so you're not gonna make every shot.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect in the video game world, so yeah, but it's a difference on how it all depends on how you standing.
It all comes down to the mental.
That's it, and that's where my competition is. So anybody who's listening, if you see me online or something, know you can't beat me by just shooting the ball, and know I'm gonna come at you mentally. You know, I know like when me and my homies when we used to play, we would be all playing mental games on each other. We talk all the
Mm-hmm.
trash, and that's how my family is.
It
My mom's
is.
side, we
It is.
all are trash talkers.
Yes, you are.
And so
Every
that's the
single
thing.
one
That's
of
why I'm
you.
like, I don't get offended when people talk trash to me. Now, it shouldn't get personal to talk
Yeah.
about stuff
Don't talk
outside.
about people's families and
Yeah, I wouldn't. I've
threatening
never.
people. That's
Yeah, that's
ridiculous. It's a
stupid.
game.
I go at your game,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. That's what you get. We're playing a game. I go at your game. If I say it's hot garbage, prove me wrong. Because if you miss, I'm gonna say I told you. I was like, and then it messes with you. It messes with you. It is all fun,
It is. It is
because when
all
the game's
fun.
over, I'm gonna say good game, stuff like that, and all that. You have my respect. If you cheese, you don't get none of my respect. But getting to practice, gym and practice. But yeah,
Mhm.
and that's pretty it. That's pretty much it.
Well, guys, remember, it's all a game and it all comes down to your mental. Confidence is consistency. I think that was one of the biggest messages I pulled from this. Confidence. When I heard you say that, I was like, ooh, that speaks to my life. Confidence is consistency, and cockiness is pride, and pride comes before a fall.
Every
So,
time.
mhm. So make sure that in all things, in the game and in life, that you are being consistent and that you are allowing yourself to give it everything you have. Have faith in yourself. But this concludes this episode of the Iron Angel podcast. Any last words, honey?
Uh, I love y'all. Let's get to 100K subs.
Yes, if you are listening, please, if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
any of the podcasting platforms, please go to our YouTube channel. That is Iron Angel on YouTube, and subscribe, like, comment, subscribe. All of your support is extremely helpful. And as he mentioned, he has been doing this for years without making a living, but he continues to push forward because he has faith in himself.
All you need is one moment to change everything.
And all it takes is one person. All it takes is one person. If each one helps one, each one reaches one, then we're all helping each other be better. It's a team effort, which is another thing we talked about in this episode. So please go to the YouTube channel, like, comment, subscribe. That's Iron Angel. And follow him on Instagram at Iron Angel _. We're looking to build up his Instagram as well. If you see him on Instagram, you'll see me. So, I know some of you guys, some of the subscribers follow me. It's a different, it's different because I don't do gaming, but hey, we're a team. But definitely tune in to the Iron Angel podcast. We post new podcast episodes every single week. And make sure you tune into Iron Angel on YouTube because there is daily content. But this concludes this episode of the Iron Angel podcast. We will talk to you guys again next week.
All right. We'll see you later.
Bye.